So I've been away from YouTube for a couple of weeks, and reason number one was I went to a wedding. Tina had asked me, technical, would you be my plus one to this wedding? And I said, sure. Whose wedding is it? She said it was one of her sorority sisters from college. I asked, will I know anyone? She said no, and I said, fine, whatever, let's go, let's do it. And now that the wedding is over, I've been thinking about it. I think weddings are just a little bit unnatural, and I'm gonna tell you why. Reason number one, why are strangers allowed to give speeches at weddings? The priest that presided over this wedding seemed like a really nice guy, but he admitted to not knowing the bride or groom that well. And then he proceeded to read to us the story of how the bride and groom first met. The family had written out the story for the priest. They wrote it on a sheet of paper. Isn't it a little odd that a stranger is relating a story that only close family would have known about? So why would you get a priest that's not actually very close to your family to tell a story that everyone already knows? Okay, reason number two, why are so many strangers allowed into weddings? See, when I have a birthday party or something, I'm particular about who I invite because I don't want to hang out with a multitude of strangers. So it seems to follow that people should be even more meticulous with their wedding invitations, right? After all, weddings should be for your loved ones, right? But once the ceremony started, I realized that I was a complete stranger to this wedding. The bride had invited Tina to the wedding and allowed her to bring any guest that she wanted. Isn't that weird when you think about it? If everyone's allowed to bring a guest, it stands to reason that at any given wedding, about 25% of the guests could just be random people. I was a stranger. I was the plus one for my friend's sorority sister. I mean, I'm thankful that I was invited, but when you really think about it, why was I allowed to be there? And I find it a little odd that weddings just allow this to happen. Weddings are weird. Reason number three, as a stranger at a wedding, I have no emotional investment. I already explained that I had never met the bride or groom, so when the ceremony started, the bride entered the room, all the family members cried because the bride was just stunning and happy, and everyone cried together, and I felt nothing because I didn't know who she was. If you don't know the bride or the groom, then weddings are, by nature, exceedingly boring. I wanted to care, I did, I tried, but when Tina turned to me and said, "Doesn't she look beautiful? Aren't you emotional?" I said, I guess. Weddings are weird. Idea number four, mingling. You know what? I mean, not only am I bad at mingling, I just didn't have any motivation to put any effort into it. I wasn't gonna see any of these people again, so. Number five, last one, segregation. Now I grant you, as I just said, I am bad at mingling. However, I did notice that I was at a segregated table. See, this was a Vietnamese wedding, and there were Vietnamese people all over this room. Everyone in the bridal party was Vietnamese. The groom was Vietnamese, the bride was Vietnamese, everyone was Vietnamese, and I was at a table with 3 white people, 2 black people, 2 Hispanic people, and 3 Asians that were not Vietnamese. There was not one Vietnamese person at my table. And I just want to know what the reasoning, I just want to know whether it was purposeful to put all the non-Vietnamese people at a separate